आभार व्यक्त करता हूं और मैं आप सभी का आयुष समृद्धि के 1535वें वेबिनार में हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। टुडे वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग वर्ल्ड पैरट डे। एक्चुअली the native breed of India has been bent to keep it at house even. So there is need to protect. I am unable to I am unable to understand why foreign breed parrots are allowed and Indian breed parrots are not allowed. So I am really thankful and grateful to Dr. Rajiv V. Gaikwad and our pillar of Ayush Samriddhi, the greatest personality, fluent orator, Dr. Kumar Vasu. Welcome, welcome. Again,
थैंक
welcome.
यू शर्मा जी, थैंक यू अग्निहोत्री।
Really,
गायकवाड़ जी भी जुड़ गए। गायकवाड़ जी का नाम जुड़ गए।
Enriched and really beneficial for the society. I would like to welcome Dr. Rajiv Gaikwad ji also. Welcome Rajiv ji, welcome. And now would like to invite Professor V.K. Agnihotri sir, ex-principal, Government Ayurvedic College, Haridwar. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Professor Pawan Sharma ji. It's great that we are going to now start our third webinar of this day, and that is 1537, 1537th webinar, and that too in the reference of World Parrot Day. अभी इतना अच्छा सा लग रहा है। पहले तो हम आज के अपने विशेष दोनों अतिथि वक्ताओं का बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं। इट्स अ प्लेजर दैट आई गॉट वन मोर ओकेजन टू welcome Dr. Saket Kumar Basu ji and Dr. Rajiv Gaikwad ji to this platform with a great new topic based on the parrots' life and how we can protect and make a care for them. A bird parrot itself is a wonderful word, especially in India, for India, since ages together. I think not only decades or old. Ethically, if we see that number of texts available, having one of the great character, of course, in the form of parrot, तोता, वैशंपायन जैसे हुए, शकुन को बोलते हैं, तोते के लिए कहते हैं, और तो और ज्ञानियों के या वेद पाठियों के दरवाजों पर जो मान्यता रखी जाती थी कि द्वारस्थ नीडांतर सन्निरुद्धा जानिए तम मंडन पंडितों कहा। ऐसा में एकदम से याद आया है, मंडन मिश्र जी पंडित जी हुआ करते थे, अत्यंत विद्वान थे बनारस में। तो जब उनसे ज्ञान लेने के लिए उनके पास पहुंचने की बात कही गई, तो जो पहुंच रहे थे उनको ये बताया गया, आजकल तो लोग कहते हैं लोकेशन भेज दीजिए, हम उसका जीपीएस लगा लेंगे, तुमको रास्ता पता लग जाएगा। तो उनकी लोकेशन का पता कैसे मिले कि वो कहाँ रहते हैं, तब जाके संस्कृताचार्य थे, उन्होंने ये श्लोक लिखा था कि जानिए तम मंडन पंडितों का। इसकी अगली याद नहीं आ रही, लेकिन वो है कि पिंजर से करके है कि जिनके दरवाजे पर लगे हुए पेड़ पर लटकते हुए पिंजर में, केज में, वो उसमें पिंजड़े में तोता बैठा हुआ है और वो भी संस्कृत में बोलता है, आप बिना किसी संकोच के जान लीजिए यही पंडित मंडन मिश्र जी का आवास है, यही उनका स्थान है। कुछ आ रहा है तो ये हमारे यहाँ उस तोते की इतनी बड़ी पूरी परंपरा थी हमारे पारिवारिक सामाजिक रूप से, कि तोता भी हमारे परिवार के अंग के रूप में, परिवार के लिए पुष्टावर्धन के लिए, मार्गदर्शन के लिए, खेलने के लिए, खुशहाली के लिए। हालांकि आज की तारीख में पिंजर रखे हुए पक्षी को माने ये मानते हैं कि पक्षियों को नहीं पिंजरा करना चाहिए, उनको छुड़वा देना चाहिए, खोलना चाहिए। और बहुत सारी चंद्रपीठ कथा, कादम्बरी कथा आई जिनमें कि शकुन आया और तोते से भागे निकलवाते थे लिफाफे रख के, पक्षी शकुन विचार करके। तो ये तो ही बात है, नहीं कि वो हमारे लिए उपयोगी है। कहते हैं तोता राम नाम भी रटता है, अगर उसको हरी मिर्च खिलाई जाए तो उसका बड़ा अच्छा गला रहता है, बताते हैं। तो आज हमारे अधिकारी लोग, हमारे साइंटिस्ट लोग पैरट के बारे में, उनकी लाइफ को और उनकी लाइकिंग को, उनके हैबिटेट को, उनके डाइट में क्या क्या चाहिए होता है, उनकी हाइजीन कैसे मेंटेन हो, और उनको कितनी धूप और छांव और बरसात से रखना है या बचाना है, इन सारी उनके जीवन के हेल्थ के रिलेटेड टॉपिक्स के बारे में वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू लिसन अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन दीज points from our scientist guest speakers, Dr. Saikat Basuji as well as Dr. Rajiv Gaikwad. So with this initial words, I again thank them and welcome them, and request Professor Pawan Sharma ji to please invite our guest speakers. Thank
मैं आदरणीय डॉक्टर, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। मैं आदरणीय डॉक्टर राजीव गायकवाड़ जी को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूँ उनके वक्तव्य के लिए।
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
तो अभी अभी भी आप
Today is the
बारे में
Thank you for giving choosing a topic and celebrating the Parrot Day, World Parrot Day. Actually, on this day, many people, those who are either parrot lovers or चले okay. So generally, if even parrot lovers, etc. So if we compare these sensors of the parrot, etc., or their ecology, importance of ecology for their survival and their food habits, etc. So the celebration of this Parrot Day is meant for the conservation purpose. Conservation, because the number is also reducing. Another thing will be many places they are destroying actually. People are destroying. People are hunting. Some people they are capturing and they will be kept in the captivity, etc. So because of this or individual parrot capturing, etc., with that their breeding and all other things are questionable. So maintenance, even they will be shifted from their own ecology to the other ecology. So once the shifting from their environment to other environment, their survivability, dependency on their survivability, it will depend on whoever has captured or whoever is the owner, etc. So their nutritional requirement may be variable. In nature, grey parrots, etc. So many parrot species. There are more than 150 species are there in the world, and they will be surviving. They will be choosing the different types of the fruits, different types of the vegetables, different types of the clays. So that clay is also one of the important factors for their nourishment. So sometimes it will be rich in minerals, etc. So that is also equally important. And if we see their comparatively capability for the speech, capability for even giving comparatively, even if whenever the human is getting exposed to the colorful parrots, etc., so his total mentation, etc., may get changed. So that is also important actually. And if parrots are trained, they are easily accepting the copying the voices, etc. And that can be generally it is happening in the captivity. So many times, whatever the things are happening at the home, they will copy as it is, or even better than that actually, and they will repeat the same sentences, etc., for several times, etc. So that may be for the good even owner or handler if it is there. So they will be liking that actually. So that is one aspect. But in captivity, very few sanctuaries are there. Even in India also very few sanctuaries, bird sanctuaries are there. And that need to be protected from the, because they are, some of the species are becoming endangered or extinct, etc. So that's why this we have to maintain their ecology and overall balance of the parrot, etc. So for conservation purpose and for maintenance and hygienic purpose, etc. That is important. Another thing, if parrots are in the captivity, we have to pay the attention toward the uh, zoonotic diseases. So zoonotic diseases, etc. So they should be periodically examined and they should be free from the infection, etc. Otherwise, sometimes parasites, sometimes psittacosis, so etc. may cause a problem to the human also. Sometimes allergic, either allergies, etc. may cause. So that's why this cleanliness, maintenance of hygiene, and a disease-free environment is important. Another thing will be the, if it is a closed environment, etc. There should not be any moving objects. There should not be any uh, uh, fan, etc. like that. Otherwise, they may get injured and subsequently fatality may arise in such some of the conditions. So these are the common problems may arise in the confined areas, etc. Other thing, if someone is having a adequate space for the maintenance, etc., maintenance of the environment, maintenance of the temperature, etc. Generally, in zoos now they have tried the maintaining the environment properly, maintaining the even plantation. That is also important. Nesting facility to be provided to them. Then only their proper breeding may arise. So these things are important. Another thing, many times even detection of sexing may be difficult. So many times genetic testing in captivity, etc., may require, and that may be useful for the identification of the male and female, etc. Another thing will be the, if suppose only females are there, so many times fertility issues may be there, and that may not be possible. So these things are there, and some of the parrots they may live in a herd. So comparatively, the more number of the parrots will be in the same environment, etc. But their pair, etc., may be constant. So these are the some of the important things. They need a variety of grains, variety of the fruits they required actually, and uh, clay, sometimes fine shells, etc. may required actually. So generally, that will be the source for the calcium, etc. will be there for them, and uh, then only their proper digestion as well as absorption of the component will be possible. Any bird will be having a normal temperature will be around 106. So regular thermometer will not work for them actually. So because our regular thermometer is up to 106, or some of the thermometers are up to 108. So their normal requirement will be the normal body temperature is 106. So if suppose AC, cold climate, etc., they are prone for the hypothermia, etc. And generally in natural open spaces, etc., they migrate actually. So migration distance, etc. So their breast muscle, etc., will be comparatively stronger. Their metabolism is good actually. So there will not be any acidotic changes, etc., will not be there. But sometimes the problems are like either uh, egg occlusion will be possible. So like a dystocia thing may occur in birds also. So if larger size of the egg, if it is there, sometimes it may get uploaded. Sometimes they may trap in the nest, or there may be some problems like sometimes fractures or wing or leg, etc. may arise. So preferably in such situation, we have to consider the pre-environment should be proper. There should not be any many times if uh, dashing etc. may be possible. Neck injuries may arise or skull injuries may be there. In captivity etc. there may be the possibility of overgrown growing of the beaks etc. may be possible. So they should have some metal objects or solid objects to sharpen their beaks etc. Or whatever the tearing and wearing that should be the no, normally it should occur actually. So that is the main thing actually. So we have to celebrate this Parrot Day, World Parrot Day, for the conservation and for maintenance of their ecology and their nature. So I appeal to you all actually, if anyone is having a such thing, then they should provide the adequate environment for their needs. So I think with this little talk, we may stop for you. Okay. Hello.
बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा सर, बहुत ही शानदार आपने show में। I salute your zeal कि आपने रास्ते में भी रुक के हमें दिया। थैंक्स 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 टू यू एंड थैंक्स टू योर फैमिली ऑल्सो। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you.
मैं अब डॉक्टर शेखर कुमार बसु को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूँ। डॉक्टर शेखर कुमार बसु।
Good evening. Thank you, Sharma ji. Thank you, Agnihotri ji. It's once again a pleasure to welcome you all on the auspicious World Parrot Day on 31st of May. I have heard your question, what Dr. Sharma asked about endemic parrots and parrots from outside countries. So I'll try and clear doubts, whatever. So the parrot includes, the parrot family is a big family. It includes a lot of birds. So parrots includes all kinds of badrigar or the badri birds that we see, all kinds of lovebirds, conroo, macaws, all kinds of parakeets, kakapos, all these kind of, all of gray parrot, African gray parrot. It is important to say that we actually do not have any true parrot in India. The parrots that we see, and we call parrots as the ring-necked parrot, Alexandrine parrot, or the Malabar parrot, they belong to the parrot family, but technically these are called parakeets, lesser parrots. They are not the true parrots. The true parrots are the African grey parrot, the cockatoos, the macaws. These are called the true parrots. Rest of many of them, it's a taxonomic classification. So in India, we only have parakeets, not true parrots. True parrots, the entire parrot family is actually distributed in the tropical and subtropical areas around the world. They are found in Central America, South America, in parts of South Asia, Southeast Asia, parts of the Pacific Islands, and in Africa. And our biggest concentration of cockatoos are found in the Australasian region, in Papua New Guinea, and also in Australia. And we there are some very rare breeds of parrots called kakapo and other species which are almost verged towards the point of extinction, and great care is being taken to protect and preserve them. They are found in New Zealand. So the greatest area of parrots, a diversity and rich diversity and color, actually is Indonesia, Malaysia, the Papua New Guinea, Australia, and the richest diversity of parrot species come from actually Central and South America. So across the tropics, subtropics, they are found in huge number. So there are around 410 species of parrots belonging to the parrot family, Pisciculosis. Pisatidae, and there are around 110 genera of parrots around the world, and they come with diverse and spectacular color. They inhabit unique habitats. Why parrots are so important for our part in our ecosystem is they are a great disseminator of seeds in the forest. So parrots are very choosy eaters. They move from one fruit tree to another. They will consume a little part of the ripe fruit, have the seeds pass through their guts, and when they will excrete, which is predominantly uric acid, through their feces, the seeds are disseminated all across the forest. So they are very, very important for the purpose of seed dissemination. One of the biggest seed disseminator in tropical and subtropical environment are various species of parrots. Some are specific to particular trees, some are specific to particular fruit trees, and without these specific species of parrots, macaws, cockatoos, these forest plants will never had a chance to distribute their seed across the forest in a wide and large environment so that we could get their next generation. Several Indian parakeets and other species of smaller parrots are also responsible for pollination. Actually, they like taking nectaries, and like bees, they also move from one flower to another. There are even parrots which will consume parts of the petals of a flower too. So they will eat up the petal and reach the glands at the bottom of the flower where they will get the nectaries exude. And while they're putting their beak and feathers sometimes get dusted with the pollen grains. And just like bees, as they're moving from one plant to another, they also help in pollination. So parrots and parakeets around the world, not only because of their spectacular beauty, they are also responsible for great ecological services such as pollination, such as dissemination of wild fruits and seeds around the forest. And they also help the ecosystem. Parrots usually do not consume an entire fruit. They will eat part of the fruit, and while they're eating, many of the time as they're pruning the fruits from one tree to another, many of the fruits drop to the ground. These fruits that drop to the ground are taken by rodents and various other ground dwelling animals that survive, and they also consume on these rich ripe fruits. At the same time, they also help in the dissemination and germination. As the fruits are dropping from the high trees because they have eaten the part and they have dropped, and as soon as they have dropped, the fruit will decay over the time. Bacteria and fungi and slime molds will welcome them in a very humid tropic and subtropical environment, and soon a new generation of plants will begin. Why this rapid cycle of seed germination and dissemination is important is because although tropical forests are rich in biodiversity, but the soil quality is very poor. There is so much heavy rain that the topsoil gets washed away every time. So it is very important for the plants to establish themselves for a very smooth in a small time. So as you could see that parrots, those beautiful coloration, those beautiful plumage also has very important ecological roles that they play in our nature. Our forest, our survival also depends on various species of parrots. But there is also parrots which are considered to be pests. Say, for example, in Australia, there is a huge diversity of various cockatoo species, and many of their numbers have increased over the time. Why their numbers have increased? It is also because of human, while Australia is a barren land. If you look into the coast, and other than some of these tropical, subtropical, and evergreen forest in some corners of Australia, the central part of Australia is a barren desert. The temperature is too high. There is less of trees. It's extremely arid. So they had limited population of birds. But as the European settlers settled in Australia and they brought in agriculture with new and more different kinds of crops that are grown in Australia, these cockatoos are extremely fond of seeds, and any crops that they grow there, the seeds serve as their source of fruit. So they come out and flock in huge number outside their forest. They will flock to the agricultural fields and they will wipe out crops. So significantly, a large number of them have been considered as pests. The Australian, some of the farmers sometimes poison and kill them. It is a very sad scene to see such majestic, beautiful birds are dying like this, but their numbers have crossed. Their numbers are in huge numbers that in many parts they're considering it to be considering or declaring them as pests too. having said that, because of the preponderance of this bird and because they have so lovely colored plumage, and the other advantage that they have is these birds are extremely intelligent and they can mimic human speech. Now we think, just like the snake, when the snake charmer is playing the veena and the snake is nodding the head, we all think that the snake is actually listening to the music. This is a myth. This is a false information. Actually, so snakes are not capable of hearing the noise. They actually understand their environment through their thermal sensors, which is located at the tip of their tongue and at the bottom of the top of their jaw, called Jacobson's organ, and through the vibrations they feel on the ground. So the snake is actually not nodding its head because of the tune of the snake charmer that is playing on the veena. It is because it is just following the movement of the swinging of the veena that the snake charmer is doing. Similarly, parrots can mimic human voice. They can mimic some of the words, but contrary to our belief that they understand what we are speaking is a myth. Actually, they do not understand what we are speaking about. It is just like a child. They will pick up the words that you are speaking. They can almost very closely mimic the voice tone of the person that they are closely associated. So if they are in an English environment, they will learn English. If you put it in a Bengali environment, they will learn Bengali. If the parrots have been raised in a Gujarati family, they will speak Gujarati words. But really, they do not understand. They just look at you, and looking by understanding your signals, how you behave to them, they are responding back to you without actually understanding what they are saying. But they have this uncanny ability to mimic human speech. They can even mimic other birds' calls too, as has been documented. So just like myna, various species of myna, parakeets and parrots are very good, particularly the cockatoos, are very good in mimicking human speech. So because of their ability, because of their high level of intelligence, which is around a 10-year-old kid, the IQ level is around 10-year-old kid, they're capable of solving problems, they're capable of following instructions, they are capable of following your cues that you are giving. So they're extremely popular as pets. They're extremely highly sold in the pet market. And many times what happens is this, that they are smuggled out of their natural environment and then they're sold to other countries. Now, this is very significantly important because there is this habitat fragmentation, there has been destruction of the ecosystem and other things, wild forest fires, diseases among them that has wiped out and killed a lot of them. But one of the biggest challenge to various endangered parrot species is particularly because of this illegal pet trade, where lots of these parrots are harvested from the forest by marginal workers, poor people, tribal, aboriginal communities living in the forest. They will go hunt down their nests, take out the little baby chicks, and then they will transport them through whichever process. Now, there has been many reports in airports where these baby parakeets or baby parrots have been stopped. But unfortunately, 60 to 70% of them, of these birds, die during transportation because it is too much of a stress for them. Only 30 out of 100 birds caught, only 20 to 30 survive, and there only possibly around 20 could be finally sold. So the loss is huge and massive. Now, there are parrot breeders around the world, including India, where they can also breed parrots. They have couples of parrots, they pair them, and their parrots are very good. They will patch up and pair for entire life. If one of the pair mate dies, they never pair with another parrot. If a male parrot dies, the female parrot may decide to live singly without ever forming a bond with another male parrot, because they are very dedicated to their relationship and they're very dedicated parents. So, and they have a long survivability rate. They survive for 7 to 8. The large species of parrots, such as macaws, cockatoos, and other species, they can survive in the wild to up to 60, 70 to 80 years. And in captivity, there are reports of them surviving up to 100 years. But Because of this wildlife trade, they are being harvested. Both adult, sub-adult chicks are harvested from their environment, particularly in South America, Southeast Asia, South Asia, and other countries, in such a huge numbers that their populations are dwindling. They are not getting enough time, enough opportunity to reproduce, lay their eggs, and raise their next clutch so that they can repopulate in the wild. The harvest pressure or the collection and illegal trade on these various species of colorful parrots and parakeets are so high that many of these species are endangered. All the parakeets that we have in India are endangered. So the government of India has made a provision that whether what you could do, all our species of parakeets are under our Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3 things, which means you cannot breed them, you cannot hold them in the cage. These are wild bird species. They deserve to be in the wild. And actually, by law, if you are prosecuted, you can be taken to the court. But in spite of the fact, we still see a large number of parrots in many of our houses, the part of our culture and tradition, but actually it is illegal. There used to be a time when we were a child, we would see that there is a bird seller that goes from door to door, having many cages with munias, budrigers, and parrots and other birds, which people used to buy. But this has gone down. But still, this trade is still there, and some people illegally do them. Illegally are selling these birds, catching them, transporting into the other countries, through illegal trafficking. But those who breed exotic parrots, exotic means foreign parrots, you can breed African parrots, you can breed macaws, you can breed cockatoos in India, and you need to have a permission as a breeding permission from the government where you are designated as a registered breeder. The government and the state government and the central government has a record of those breeders, and then you can have your aviary or your bird farm, and like a poultry, you can breed those birds. You need to get the license renewed. There is investigation from time to time to see the condition of your aviary, how you are doing the trade. And those people who are successful in generating these birds, they can make a lot of money. Hyacinth macaw in an Indian market sells around 1,10,000 to 20,000 to 1,30,000. Other species are no less than 70, 80, 90, crossing 1 lakh to even close to 1.5 lakhs, 1,50,000 is the cost of many of these species, but you need to carry a license. Now, as Dr. Sharma was asking, why I can breed foreign birds? Because these are not birds which have originated in India. They have been introduced from other countries into India. They are not a unique part of the Indian ecological system. They are not the wild birds of India. But parakeets are Indian wild birds. They are scheduled section birds where the birds are protected under laws for conservation. So you are neither allowed to breed nor allowed to keep them in your cages. But I know that in many homes across the country, they are extremely popular as pets and people are holding them back in the cages. It is actually a criminal offense under Indian Forest Act and law, under Wildlife Conservation Protection Law, and even criminal proceedings can be made against you. So this is the reason. You cannot breed, hold, sell any native Indian birds. If you want to sell and raise, it's just like raising color fishes. There is this aquarium business where a lot of people are breed colored fishes for various parts of the aquarium. This is also same. People like, people means for these kind of birds, they're extremely expensive and you have to pay big bucks for these. But still, there are people who are interested in holding and keeping those foreign birds. Still, any parks that you go, you will see a large number of these badgers, which are very easy to raise. Lovebirds, corneroos, cockatoos, cocktails, and all these species are available in many of the local zoos or local aviaries or people's personal small zoos. All these are available, but these are all foreign birds, so you are allowed to keep them. But if it is an Indian bird, you are not allowed to keep them. Same applies for many of other species of pigeon, doves, etc. If they are of foreign origin, you can breed them in India under constricted, under caged condition, because they are not allowed to be allowed to move into our free environment, because they may have a significant negative impact on our ecosystem. So under cage condition, you can raise them and you can keep them under aviary, but no native Indian birds could be raised and sold, or there could be any business upon them. Parrots do suffer from the parrot fever virus, and it can contract into human assays. There are some reports that they have contracted, that humans have also contracted the disease. And with the pandemic that we have gone through, and because birds are a harbinger of a large number of viruses, I think it is not a very good idea, unless you are very well trained, unless the birds are vaccinated, for people to randomly keep birds. They can result and spread diseases, as it is happening quite frequently. People who eat migratory birds illegally is also putting them into high danger, because these migratory birds contain a number of restricted virus from other countries, and as they're moving from one country to another, if you are consuming them and by chance you contract those virus, it could result in another serious outbreak of viral diseases, because many of these viruses which are present in these birds are capable of jumping species. They move from one species to another and finally make humans their host. And it is believed that this COVID-19 could have possibly come through either bats or birds being consumed in China or Southeast Asian countries, where there is a tradition of eating these wild birds, that they may have contracted into the human system. So looking at pets is an enjoyable thing, but birds also can bring us a lot of hazards. But nonetheless, they are a very important part of our ecosystem that constitutes the maintenance and dynamism of the ecosystem. They are responsible for maintaining the dispersal of seeds and fruits, and maintaining then helping the ecological services, pollination. So it is us humans who is now responsible for, introducing in other environments, introducing into other countries. They didn't come here. We have introduced them, and sometimes they have turned into pests. So it is our responsibility to restrict and restrain this population, and be respectful and be caring towards the nature by protecting these wonderful species of parrots. So out of 400 species of parrot, 1/3 of them is very, very sad. 1/3 of these species of parrots are extremely endangered, and some are at the verge of extinction. So it is human activity, destruction of their forest habitats, harvesting them, collecting and catching these baby chicks or chicks of parrots and parakeets, and then selling them and transporting them across long distance, which results in huge bird mortality that we are suffering from this problem. Also in India, we do not have enough experts with the customs and other part. So the forest department needs to work. Sometimes the customs catches a big flock of birds, or the railways carries a big fleet of birds through the tips that they get from various sources. But there are not people who are capable enough to identify these birds properly. Sometimes they do not even know whether it's a foreign bird, or is an exotic Indian or exotic bird, foreign origin, or a native Indian bird. So I think we need to have education and awareness, even among the forest department, our customs and narcotics department, and those people who are closely associated with interfering trafficking of wildlife, to be properly trained in identifying these birds, so that they can be taken care of and taken to the court of law and be protected. And if foreign birds, then they could be kept under restrained environment, sold or something like that. And if it is native birds, they needs to be released in the appropriate environment. So there is this lack of education and awareness. There is this lack of awareness among people that no Indian birds could be caged. I request everyone who could see caged birds to report it to the nearest police station or release them. Releasing a bird looks best in its natural environment, in the trees, not in your cage. Just let us feel, how would I like to be caged while other people are enjoying my company? It's not a very nice thing in this modern world. The animals also have animal rights, and it is by the law of the country, they need to be freed. So we need to increase this awareness and education, and ask people who are holding Indian birds of Indian origin or native birds to release them. And particularly, I'm saying this because parakeets are such a popular pets across India. It is important that we release them. Some of the species of parakeets are extremely endangered. The Nicobar parakeet, the plum-faced parakeet, the Malabar parakeets, all are extremely endangered, and they should not be held in cages. But I see even in bird markets today across Kolkata and other places, people are selling them behind the curtain. And there is support from the forest department because they get a bribe. It is not an appropriate thing, because these majestic species, we are losing them every day. We need to protect them. So my last urge to everyone on this auspicious day of World Parrot Day, let's work together, educate ourselves, be sensitive towards various parrot species, and let them free if you can, and conserve them. Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Agnihotri. It has been a pleasure of being a part of this program.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pratapi. Thank you very much. मैंने जो जितने भी तोते पाले, मैं उनके पंख काट के सब तरफ मेरे घर में फैमिली मेंबर के रूप में घूमते थे। फिर भी ये समझ में आया कि जो पंछी खुले आसमानों में उड़ने के लिए है, उसके लिए हमारा घर भी एक पिंजरा है, तो पालना छोड़ दी। बहुत सही कहा आप दोनों ने, बहुत ही सही एक्सप्लेन किया। मैं आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री जी को सादर आमंत्रित।
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी, बहुत अच्छा बताया। हमारे सेक्रेटरी जी ने बतलाया और गायकवाड़ जी ने बतलाया, बहुत ही अच्छी बातें बताई और इतने सारे स्पेसीज के नाम बताए, इसको मैं जिंदगी में कभी सुना ही नहीं था। एक अपना पैरट जानते थे, तोता हिंदी में, और शकुन कहते थे उसको उसको अपने संस्कृत में, और हरे रंग का होता था मेन। कभी कोई आ जाए तो लगता था ये जंगली है, दूर का बाहर का है, लेकिन बहुत ही कायदे से समझाया। और ये सच्चाई है कि पिंजड़े में रखने के बाद उनकी लाइफ ही खत्म कर दी जाती है, उनके पर भी नहीं अच्छे से चेंज हो पाते हैं, उनकी एक्सरसाइज ही खत्म हो जाती है। हमारी एक मैडम हुआ करती थी यहाँ पर देहरादून में, वो अपना ब्रिगेडियर साहब की वाइफ थी यहाँ पर। तो वो उस जमाने में हो गई करीब हाँ 20 साल तो हो ही गए। वहां पर देहरादून में पिंजड़ों में पक्षी बेचते थे, तो उन्होंने 30 30 40 पिंजड़े खरीदे, मेरे सामने एक बात है, और उनको सबको लाके उड़ा दिया, मतलब पिंजड़े उनको वापस कर दिए और पक्षी पिंजड़ों से छुड़वा दिए थे। और बहुत वैरायटी के, बहुत तरह तरह की जीन्स के स्पेसीज के वो डॉग और पपीज पालती थी, वो अलग था। तो ये उनका बड़ा पशु पक्षी प्रेमी थी। एक आपने लास्ट में बड़ा बढ़िया सेंटेंस बोला कि एनिमल्स हैव आल्सो गॉट देयर एनिमल राइट्स। बड़ा अच्छा शब्द लगा। सही बात है, बेशक वो चाहे किसी से कह ना पाए, लेकिन पक्षियों की जो चहचहाट होती है या पर्टिकुलर वॉइस में जब ये बोलते हैं पैरट्स, इसलिए जो भी अपना इंडियन जो करेंसी आप कहते हैं वो ओरिजिनल नहीं है पैरट, लेकिन हम लोगों को तो शुरू से उसी को देखा हो जाना है, तो उसकी अच्छा लगता है, उसका होना पैरट के लिए मामले में बहुत ही अच्छा लगता था। और उनकी नाक, उसकी चोंच के लिए स्पेशली कहा गया है कि पैरट की चोंच जो लाल रंग की चोंच और ब्राउन और ग्रीन रंग का पैरट, खूब बच्चों में ड्राइंग में 5th 6th स्टैंडर्ड में तोता बनाने को आता था, बनाते थे अपना बढ़िया से, कागज पे बनाते थे, करते थे। बट आज मुझे महसूस हुआ कि ये वैरायटी इतनी कम होती आ रही है, जबकि आपने कहा कि 400 तक स्पीसीज होती हैं, और उनमें से मैंने गायकवाड़ साहब ने तो 150 बतलाई, आपने 400 बतला दी। और एक और खुशी की बात पता लगी कि अगर इनको कायदे से अपनी जिंदगी जीने का इन्वायरमेंट मिले रहे, तो आपने गिनाया 60 70 80 और इवन 100 भी क्रॉस कर जाती है, 100 years ऑफ एज। तभी ऐसे पुरानी पंचतंत्र टाइप कहानियों में लिखा जाता था, एक गांव था, उसमें बहुत पुराना एक पीपल का पेड़ था या कोई पेड़ था, उसके खोकर में तोता दंपत्ति रहते थे, लाइक दैट। इट मीन्स कि वो पुराना, इनकी लाइफ स्पेन बहुत होती है, और उसी में से खाना और बीज उसको जो है पॉलिनेशन के काम के लिए लोग पक्षी और गिलहरी ये सब काम आते हैं। तो रियली इनकी एक लाइफ है जिसको आपने इतना स्टडी किया है, बोटनिस्ट और 20% लोग स्टडी करते हैं, तो पता लगता है कि ये भी हमारे सोसाइटी के, हमारी ह्यूमन लाइफ के कितने इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट्स हैं, और इन पर इनका कंट्रीब्यूशन डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली इतने ज्यादा है। आंखों को खुश करते हैं, चहचहाट से मन को अच्छा लगता है, गानों में अच्छी इनकी ध्वनि सुनाई पड़ती है, और हमारी जो वन संपदा है, हमारे जो वेजिटेशन होता है, हमारी जो हर्बल सोर्स है, उसके जिंदा रखने में, उसको आगे बढ़ाने में इनका इनडायरेक्टली कितना बड़ा सोर्स है। तो हम यही सब बातों पर विचार करते हुए आज के इस वर्ल्ड पैरट डे को अच्छे से आप लोगों ने सेलिब्रेट कराया, आप लोगों का सहयोग है, इसका हम बहुत बहुत हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। वी आर रियली grateful for your knowledge, for your contribution, for your association with us, and we feel that there may not be any such field where you are not in position to talk about. So it's our greatest pleasure, and we are fortunate enough to have such great knowledgeable persons with us, for whom topic, whether it is known or unknown, makes no difference, and you are always with us for the increasement of our knowledge. So it's a great matter of proud.
Thank you, अग्निहोत्री जी.
Thank you so much.
आपने तो 4 चांद लगा दिए. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
Really, it's our pleasure. We feel the same here, sir. Thank you so much. And I think
अच्छा अग्निहोत्री जी, शर्मा जी प्लीज नोट कर लीजिए 6 to 9th जून मैं थोड़ा ट्रैवलिंग कर रहा हूँ, तो उसमें आई विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल फ्रॉम बिटवीन 6 to 9th जून.
ओके, 9th जून में तो यहाँ गवर्नमेंट बन रही होगी.
अच्छा, हाँ 6 to 9th आई एम ट्रैवलिंग, आई विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल. ठीक है.
Okay,
ठीक.
okay. So this is the time when we can depart for tomorrow. So thank you so much, and I really say thanks for the contribution of all the 3 webinars of our guest speakers to cover those who covered all the 3 topics, right from the Poison Act 1919, the great one, to our No Tobacco Day celebrations, and again the Parrot Day. Thank you so much for all guest speakers. Over to Professor Pankaj.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajiv ji. Thank you very much, Rajiv ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Jagat ji, namaskar.
Thank you. Good night. Good night.